Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a Flutter application using Block State Management Library. So Block is a library by which you can manage the state of your application. There are many other libraries, but I have seen the company prefers to use Block. So Block is basically a bit critical. So it's a basic application which will get you started with the Block architecture or the state management, what you can say. So let's start with the lo- state management library. So first what I will do, I have created an application. So it will have a basic app, the counter app, where one button you will click, it will increase the value in a text. And on the button you will click, it will decrease the value. So let's start. So first what I will do is add the libraries for the block uh, in the Flutter YML, spec YML file. Go to the dependencies and there I will add the libraries for the block. So basically I have editing block and a Flutter block. So block is the library used for the block file that we created shortly, and the Flutter block is used to communicate with the UI. The block part that communicates with the UI, for that we use Flutter block. And now I will add the library which is equitable. So equitable is like a library which manages this, which compares the states. So as the files in that are immutable, so you can't compare one file with the current state of the file with the previous state. So equitable does that for you. So it's basically checks the current state of your application and then compares it with the previous state. If there is any update, then it will provide the current state. If not, then the previous state. So there is an error currently. Let me check what is the problem. Okay, so the problem was like the version number, it will be 8, not 0. So let's go back to the main file. Now we create a folder on the library, which I will name as block, and create the folder. I will name it as block, and inside the block, I will create another folder which will represent the project that I am doing. Currently, I will name it as counter, as it will count the number of clicks. Yeah, inside this counter, I will create all the block files. So there are libraries out there that will help you to create automatically the block files. But I would prefer to use manually create the file. So first one that I created is block.dat. Second, I will create another file that will be counted event file, that is event.dat. And the next one will be the counter underscore state, that is the state.dat. So the event and the state will be passed on the block file, and once it's done, then you can use it in the block. So first I will write the event file. So it is basically the things that will be going to have occur on the application. Like currently here I will have an increment and increment of the things. So I will go to the event file. So basically it's like a sequence you should maintain. Like first create the event, first write the code for the event file, then the state dot, and then you can arrange it in the block. That will help you to maintain the sequence. So let's start with coding with the event file first. So first what I will do is import the equitable class. that is that equitable library that we have added in our obspec.yml. It will show you the equitable package. This is the package that I will use. Now I will put an abstract class. So I will use an abstract class over here. Name the class as counter event, and it will extend the equitable. Now, so now we'll create another class which will be of the event that is gonna occur. That is the increment. So I will write the name of the class and extend it from the counter event class. So I will extend it from here. So there will be an error. So I need to import one a method that will be overriding. So this will be the override method, and I can delete this and put it simple third bracket. Okay, yeah, it's done right now. So now I will create another class because I have another event to occur. That is the decrement. That is the one clicking another button that will decrease the value. So I will have another counter, uh, another class. Sorry, another class which will also do the same thing. So I will do it. So my event class is completed right now. So what can I do is right now, as this is the structure of the event class. So this is how the event class is written and while using block state management. So now I'll move to the state file where I will again import the package equitable. Now we'll create a class which will name as counter state, and this will extend the equitable. Now I need to override a function. That same override method that I had overridden over there in the event class. So here I need to do the like I very define the variable which will uh, count the clicks. So I will use a final keyword and an integer. I'll name the variable as count. I'll make a constructor of this counter state class. Inside that I will specify the current value of the counter. So currently I will put it as 0. So now I will use a function, inbuilt function which is called copy with. This is used to compare the current step with the previous state. This will create an instance of this class, and that will be used to compare the current state with the previous state. So this will be the syntax how to use this. So I provide inside the copy with the argument will provide the counter that we have declared, and inside this we will check the current state. It will return the current state. So we will check the current state. If it's the current state is has any updated, then the current state will be shown. If not, then the previous state will be shown. So this is how the syntax is. So basically, this function returns the current state of the application. First, it will check and compare the previous state with the current state. If there is any updation, then the current state will be shown. If not, the previous state will be shown. So this is how the state file look like in the inside the block. So now in the override method, I have to pass the counter in the here. I will pass the counter. Yeah. So the state file is completed currently. So this is how the copy with the function looks like. Basically, it returns the current state. It compares inside that, and then it returns the previous state or the current state based on the user interaction, based on the if the user has updated the if there is any updation, then it will show to the user that. So now we'll move to the block function. So basically, this is the event and event class, and the this one is a state. So this will be these two class. I need to pass it to the block for the block state management to work. So now we go to the block class. Here I will need to import the block package, not the Flutter block, the only block package. Uh, Here I will use the block package over there, this one. Yeah. So now I will create a, so again, if it's a confusion, like I need to use this block in the block file and Flutter block in the UI file. Okay, so Flutter block basically interacts with the block and the UI, and that block is used to create the block class. So now I will create a class for the block. So I will name it as counter block, and it will extend block. So this is how the syntax looks like this. So now we'll have an angle bracket. Inside the angle bracket, I will pass the event and the state. So inside the angle bracket, I will pass the my state event is counter event and my state is counter state. Those are the two files that I have created previously. So inside this, I'll have to create a constructor for this super. So this is basically this will show, but this is not how I need it. I need to change this. So how I will write it? This is the syntax basically used. So I will have a counter block which will return super class, and inside the super will pass. So inside the super I will pass the counter state, and then I will have on function which will take a function, and it will take a function. So I need to write a function where the actual operations will be done. Alright, I will mention the file as increment. Another function I need, another operator I need. So I have a decrement also. So I will write on, and this is basically how the syntax looks like. So now we'll go down and create the functions for increment and decrement. Underscore increment and underscore decrement. So I will go down. I will write the function. Okay, so there was an error because of the super. I think there was this error super because of the spelling. So now we create this function called void increment, void underscore increment. And inside that, I need to pass an event. That is, my event is increment counter. It will be as an event, and that will be an emitter. So emitter will take the counter state and it will emit the result. So now I will write what I need to do is this is the syntax for emit. So it will be emit dot state. It's not so not sorry not emit dot state. It will be emit inside the bracket will be state dot copy with. So use the function copy with previously in the state file, and it will take the counter state dot counter, and then we can increase the value. Like I have increased by +1 by every time you click, it will increase the value by 1. So there is a error in the counter state. Let me just see. Yeah, now the error will be gone. So same with the function, I need to write with the decrement. Just I need to decrease the value of the state dot counter to the to -1. It will decrease the value every time I will click the decrement button. So it will have the same things, the emitter, and it will take a state which will be in emit, and the syntax will be same. So basically my block part is completed. So block basically contains three file. One is the block, and then two are the event and the state. So block take event and the state. Event is basically where I write what are the functionalities that this block will occur, and the state is for managing the state, current state, and the previous state comparing. And inside the block, I will pass these two, and I will do whatever the logical operations need to be done over here. So this is it. So basically, if it's like you need to practice a bit, then it will be much more clear. And so these are the three files inside the block. Again, let me say that there are three files inside the block. One is block, state, and event. So block take both the event and the state. Event is what are the things that are gonna occur in the applications, and state is the useful compare the current state with the previous state. So now let's go to the UI part and connect the block with the UI. So first I will have the main. So I will write it in the main order. Let me create a new. Okay, I will create a new package, new folder, and inside that I will create a new class to just like so it will be easy to understand and maintain the code. So here I will go and create another folder which I will name is a UI. Inside the UI I will create the name of the file. So let me name it that counter screen. So all the screen I will make will go inside this UI folder. So this will be a very basic stateless widget class where there will be a text and then there will be two buttons. One is increment and decrement. Yeah, it's done. So let me create this very basic application screen. So I'll use scaffold. Inside that I will use an app bar. I'll write the title of that. Sorry, I mixed the text. It will be inside a text. Now we'll have the body. Inside the body I will use a column and make it center. You can skip this part because it's basically a very simple thing that's going on. Yeah, it's done. So first I need to add it to the main activity. Sorry, not activity, main dot. This happens when you come from native development. So it will be main dot. So I'll delete all these things. So let me clear this file. I'll pass I will add this by class screen name. The screen. Yeah, let me run it. Check it's running or not. Yeah, it's this will be a simple look of the screen. So it's currently this will. Now I need to add the block to it. So I will add the block. So go to the text, the things that gonna change. Okay, on clicking that will change. So we are basically counting the clicks on the counter variable, if you remember, in the state file that I have written. So I need to use that over here in the text so that it automatically gets updated. So what I will use over here is a block builder. So block builder, it will show you like this, but this is not the syntax. So what I will have to do is I need to pass something over here. And what I will pass over here, I'll pass the block over here and the state, and the builder also will not look like this. So what I will do over here is change, it will take the context and the state. So this is yeah, inside that I will paste the that text widget that I have written over there. So I will paste that one. And now, as I have mentioned it over here as 0, I will not use the 0. I will use the state to okay, so that state is not gonna use. We need to use it will be a name of a variable basically. Name it anything, but it prefers to use the name state, so it will be manageable. So state dot counter dot to string, just extract take string. So it's done. So now if you check, the value will be changed. But to change the value, you have to put the state folder, sorry, state part. So to check, what I need to do is like inside the home, I will have to delete all these things. So this return and all these things I have to delete it. The material I will go inside the block. So first I will return the block provider. I will use the block provider over here. This will be the syntax for the block provider, which will take create, and inside that I will pass the my block over there. So there will be an okay. So this is not inside this. I have to use it inside the. So here I will use the child and the cons and I will pass the material app. Okay. The whole thing you can copy and paste it. I have copied the wrong file. So inside the home, I will pass the screen. So now if I go to the state file, the block, the state file, and I will increase this value to set 0. So let me set it something else. And if I run the app, you see it is changed to 70. So yeah, so this is working. Now I will go to the UI screen and I will add block to the buttons so that it can update the button values. So in the counter screen, I will write over here. It's a very simple syntax. Let me write it over here. So it will be context dot read. Inside that, we'll have to pass the counter block, and then we'll use to add to use the keyword add, the function add. Then we'll pass the increment counter, the counter that we have created that does the operation for the increasing the value of the um, text. So that is increment counter. So yeah, it's done right now. So basically everything is currently completed. So yeah, so everything is done. Check. So now if I click on this, yeah, it's increasing. Now if I click on that, it will decrease the value. So basically this is how you get started with block state management in Flutter. And then in the next video, I will show how to call an API and populate the screen with the value from getting from the API.